So I think we have enough people to start. So I will be starting the session. So today we will be discussing about WebAssembly. So what basically is WebAssembly and like how it will work with conjugation with JavaScript and what are the benefits that we have with WebAssembly we don't have with the JavaScript. So today we will be clearing like certain myths about WebAssembly, WebAssembly is faster or WebAssembly is slower than JavaScript, and then can we directly run C++ applications with WebAssembly or not in the browser. So we will be looking into the all aspects of WebAssembly alongside with the JavaScript, how they are interconnected. So before starting, so I'll give a brief intro to JavaScript. So JavaScript is the default language for web development. That is what all dynamic changes we need to do in the web pages. We will be doing them through the JavaScript. So either we can use plain vanilla JavaScripts or we can go for any JavaScript based frameworks like Angular or React. And then JavaScript has support for many APIs. So they have a native support for DOM manipulation and then fetching data from servers and then WebSockets, storage, canvas, WebGL. So it has support for a lot of things that we usually do in the browser. But we have this support for most of the things, but certainly JavaScript is not going to be a first choice for many tasks. Like if we want to do a image compression in the web browser, or if we want to build a image editing app in the web browser, or if we are currently like going to a situation where every company is launching web version of their product. So that certainly JavaScript is not well developed or is not in a condition to handle these changes altogether. Or so like image compression, video rendering. So JavaScript can do image compression and video rendering, but it is designed to give the best performance out of it, not the best output. So basically we can do these tasks with JavaScript, but JavaScript will give us a performance, not the best output that we can get from a native language like C, C++ or Java. So WebAssembly is going to bridge the gap between this native language output and the performance of JavaScript. So before jumping to how JavaScript handle things and how WebAssembly is going to handle the things, we have two things like compilers. So basically everything we write is going to be compiled, and then it's going to compile in some intermediate code, then assembly code, and then machine code. So actual machine is going to execute the machine code. So like JavaScript uses JIT compilation. JIT compilation means just in time compilation, which means whenever we need to execute the code, the compiler fetches the code and compiles it in real time whenever it's used. And then we have the second type of compilers at AOT compilers. So AOT compilers are basically ahead of time compiler, which means it will not wait for the action to going to be performed. It will pre-compile the code and run the compiled code whenever it's required. So JIT is like, obviously it is going to be compiled on the time as per the requirement. So it is going to the JIT compiled languages is going to take little bit performance lag, because the code is first going to be compiled and then run. But for AOT the code is pre-compiled, so these applications are going to be a little bit faster. So when we are using JavaScript, so JavaScript natively uses JIT compiler, but when we are going to talk about native languages like C, C++, Java, so these languages use AOT compiler because they are pre-compiled and then the compiled code is run on the machine on which we require to execute the code. So now we will move to the limitations of JavaScript. So these are basically not the limitation of JavaScript. They are not going to limit us to develop a particular functionality with JavaScript, but certainly they will not give the best performance output when we are developing these kind of functionality with the JavaScript. So JavaScript is not good for CPU intensive tasks like video rendering, image processing, image optimization, image editing. These kind of tasks are like playing a game on browser. So JavaScript is not built to run a CPU intensive task. And then again JavaScript is text based, and then it is JIT. So since it is JIT, whenever the JavaScript is downloaded to the browser, it is first the JavaScript compiler will generate the token and then parse the token, and then it will create a machine code, and then the particular machine code is going to be run. But this consumes a lot of time, which is not the case with the AOT compilation. So this is why JavaScript has a limited functionality when we compare it to WebAssembly, but it will not affect much. But yes, it will help when we are going to WebAssembly, it will help us in improving performance a bit. So now what is WebAssembly? So WebAssembly is nothing. It is basically WebAssembly is basically a compiler, stack-based compiler or stack-based virtual machine, which is going to compile the code that is generated by Mscriptian and on the machine, on the browser. So basically WebAssembly is a type of binary code, actual binary code that is like we have, and then it is going to run that particular binary code on the browser. So now this binary code can be generated as an output from multiple languages. Like this binary code can be an output of C code, can be an output of C++ code, can be an output of Rust code. So certainly like this can be an output of like certain high level languages, and then this is converted to binary, which is like then run by the WebAssembly. So WebAssembly is now supported on almost all major browsers, be it Firefox, Edge, Chrome, Safari. So it is supported on all particular web browsers. So now like before going deep into WebAssembly, so I'll show you something like what are the use cases of WebAssembly and where are the companies using WebAssembly. So you must have heard of AutoCAD. So AutoCAD is a software for designing prototypes for multiple things like vehicles prototype and then building prototypes. So AutoCAD code was completely written in C++. C and C++. So basically what AutoCAD team has done is like the AutoCAD team has compiled the entire C++ code base to WebAssembly, and now they are providing their software to cloud. So now they are providing AutoCAD as a platform as a service, where you can directly open the AutoCAD in the browser, and then you don't need to install the AutoCAD libraries into your system and then install C++. So the all installation part is gone, or you can directly access the AutoCAD in the browser and it's working fine. And this is achieved without rewriting the AutoCAD in the JavaScript. So they just compiled the C and C++ code to the WebAssembly, and now they are up and live. So there are certain things in between that they need to do, like writing some bridge code that is going to bridge the C++ connectivity to directly to the JavaScript, but that is very little when we compare to rewriting the entire application. So this code base is like around 30 years old. So they are like in production from 30 years. And then we have this Unity game engine that is like the most popular game engine today, and then most of the popular games are built over it. So this Unity game engine has also provided support to like compile the C++ code to WebAssembly directly. So now like what Unity team is doing, like they have a code base that is written in C for a particular game, and then they are going to compile this for PlayStation differently, and then they are going to compile this C++ code to PC games itself. So now they also have a new candidate, that is WebAssembly. So now they can compile the same C++ code to WebAssembly, and now the same code can be executed in the browser. We don't need a PlayStation, or we don't need a PC. We can directly run that particular game in the browser itself. So now the PlayStation can play now this Unity team, or you are like a developer which is using Unity to create a game, can directly ship their game to browser. So they don't need to like rebuild the game or rewrite the game for browser. So Qt is another like UI library for embedded systems and desktops. So Qt is like mostly used in airplanes and then car dashboards UI, where like embedded systems are used. So this is an UI library that is for embedded systems. So they have also compiled their entire system to WebAssembly, and now these components can also be used to create websites or web apps. Now Squooze is another app. So like you must have heard about WebP. So WebP is the image format that is currently only supported by Chrome. So now this support is not for Firefox. So what Squooze team has done, so they have taken up the major C++ image libraries, and they have compiled them to WebAssembly, and now they have developed an app using which you can like do the image manipulation, image compression, image rotation, and all the image related tasks natively. So this app doesn't need a server. You can directly like open the app, and then it will get installed as an PWA on your system, and then you can directly access this app offline. So this is completely based on WebAssembly. So these are like a certain examples, but like they are not limited to. You can also develop many things, or you can directly pick a C library and use the WebAssembly to compile them and directly integrate them into your web applications. So now we'll move forward. So now the main problem. So now the main problem lies here. So we have the high level languages like C, C++, Rust. So now all these languages have their own different compilers. The major problem is they have different compilers, and these languages are getting combined these languages are getting compiled to assembly code, and now these code is like machine dependent. you compile C code, the C code is machine dependent. If you like take the same compile code to a different machine, it will not work, because these are machine architecture dependent. So now the main problem is like we have the high level language and we need to run the high level language in browser, and the browser can be running on any of the systems. So we need to develop a compatibility, or we need to develop a system to handle the portability of these languages, because the high level language once compiled cannot run on all the systems. So these are architecture dependent. So what the WebAssembly or MI Scriptian team has done, so they have created an intermediate representation of a particular code. So I'll show you the slide. So now what they have done, so they have created their own compiler. So the compiler is known as MI Scriptian. So the MI Scriptian is the original compiler that is used to generate the WebAssembly code. So now you can write the code in C, either C++ or Rust. And now when you compile, the code get compiled to an intermediate representation. So this is an IR code. So IR code is not the actual machine code, but it is like certain low level code. Now the MI Scriptian compiler will generate a WASM library or a WASM code that is like actual machine code. And now this machine code is platform independent, like this can be run on any platform. So now they are using this intermediate representation to handle the portability of these high level languages. Now we will go through the execution flow. So why what flow the JavaScript uses and what flow the WebAssembly library uses. So when we talk about JavaScript, so JavaScript usually has a parser. So JavaScript has a parser because the JavaScript is a JIT, because just-in-time compilation. You will push the code to JIT compiler, and then it will compile the code during runtime, and then it will like execute the code. So JavaScript code first goes through a parser. So once the parser like generates the token and then like do all the validation, and then it will compile the code. So after the compilation is done, it will optimize the code. Now during the optimization, it will generate some kind of analytics, like what are the length that is going to, for your objects, and then how much memory your objects are going to consume. And depending upon these optimization and the compiled code, your machine code is going to be executed. So this is the entire flow for JS. But when we talk about WebAssembly, our code is pre-compiled. So now we don't have a requirement of parsing the code. We can directly pull the code, decode the code, compile the code, and it's executed on the machine. So now we are saving time of parsing. So like JavaScript has an extra step of parsing the code, but when we are on WebAssembly, we don't have the extra step of parsing the code. So now the code, WebAssembly code, is directly decoded and compiled. So it will save a considerable amount of time, because the time that is going to be wasted in parsing the code. So this is why WebAssembly is little bit like faster when we compare it to the native JavaScript code. So there are certain other factors that do matter, which we will be discussing later. So now like Chrome is the most popular engine, most popular web browser nowadays. So we will be discussing the flow of JS and WebAssembly files related to Chrome. So now how the JS files are combined. So we have ignition stage in JS V8, Chrome V8 compiler. So what this ignition stage is do, it is an interpreter. So it will like take the JS code and then create different kind of tokens, and then generate different kind of analytics over these code, like how this code is behaving and how this code is going to perform, and then pushes the code to Turbofan. And now Turbofan is the actual machine code runner, which actually runs the code on the machine. So now Turbofan will run the code on the machine. So now the ignition step is the main step that is consuming the time. It is like doing the all compilation task, and then all analysis generation, like how much memory you will be consuming, and then what all references your code is maintaining, and then pushing the code, compiled code, to Turbofan. But and then in WebAssembly there is directly a lift off stage. So the lift off stage means you don't need to compile the code, or you don't need to generate the token of the code. You don't need to parse the code. You can directly take the code. Lift off means it will directly load the code, and then Turbofan, it will directly execute the code. So now we have like bypassed the ignition stage with WebAssembly. So now we also saving some time when we are going through a Chrome V8 architecture. So now in JS you can see there are two-way arrow in ignition and Turbofan. But when we are talking about WebAssembly, there is only a single way arrow from lift off to turbofan. But in JS, there is like two-way communication between ignition and turbofan. So now this two-way communication is like when we first compile the code will generate some sort of analytics, like this much memory is required for a particular program, and the code is optimized according to the memory size. Now the code is pushed to the turbofan. Now the code actually started execution. But during execution, some of the assumptions went wrong. Like we are assuming that our code is going to take 10 KB of memory, but we have pushed an array of like 1 lakh records. So now the turbofan has identified, okay, the code is consuming more memory than it has assumed. So now the code needs re-optimization. So what it will do, it will de-optimize the code and pushes the code back to the ignition stage. So now the code is again in the ignition stage, but now it has more data about execution. So since it has more data about execution, it will recompile the code and regenerate analytics like how the code will be behaving when it is actually going to be executed. So now the code is like re-pushed from ignition stage to turbofan stage, and the code is like rerunning on the machine. So now when we are talking about JS, the code keeps on like jumping between the ignition stage and the turbofan stage, due to which we are not able to extract a predictable performance from the JS file. Now, but when we are talking about WebAssembly, the code is only once in a lift-off stage, and then it moves to the turbofan stage. That means we have a predictable performance when we are using WebAssembly. So now I have written JS and WebAssembly, but certainly we are comparing these steps when we are doing the same particular task. So when we have written an image compression library, so once we have written an image compression library in JavaScript, and when you are executing, and then we have rewritten the same execution library in the native code, C code, and then we are executing. So now when I'm saying the JavaScript, the WebAssembly code is much more predictable. It's because so we have performed a simple operation. So I have given the link to this operation. This is actually performed on Mozilla by certain developers which are actually involved in the WebAssembly development. So now what they have done, so we have source maps in JavaScript. So whenever a code is like whenever a code is compressed, so it will generate a source map. So source map will contain the exact code and help us in debugging the code. So now they have replaced the source code parser with a parser that is written as Rust and then compiled to WebAssembly. So basically they have tested the performance of source code analysis once with the native JS compiler, and second with the compiler that they have written in JavaScript, and then compiled that particular Rust code to WebAssembly. So now in red you can see the performance of JavaScript execution, and in blue, below blue, the line that is between 0 to 1000, blue line, this is the performance that we will get when we are handling the source code with the Rust code that is compiled to WebAssembly. So if you will see, the blue line is certainly all together. So it is like executed in different browser. So when we see the JavaScript is Chrome, it is like more of the red dots growing over a time. But when we see WebAssembly in Chrome, it is like dots that are like concentrated over a single position. That means it is taking a considerable hit. Now when we talk about JavaScript in Firefox, it is again taking a lot of time. The red dots will continue to grow over time. But when we execute the same code written in WebAssembly by Rust, it will again take the same amount of time that it has taken in Chrome. Similarly in Safari, the blue dots are like all concentrated into a smaller place. But when we compare it to a JavaScript, it is like scattered over the period of time, which means all three browsers, Chrome, Firefox and Safari, the performance is not predictable. In Chrome, it is like the best performance is given, but in Firefox, the performance has taken a lot more time to execute the particular code. In Safari, it has like taken the considerable amount of time, but certainly less than Firefox. But when we talk about the time consumed by the WebAssembly, it is certainly constant. It is taking the same amount of time, be it in Chrome, be it in Firefox, be it in Safari. That means the WebAssembly is always giving us a consistent performance. It is not going below that particular performance. It is not going beyond that particular performance when we change the browser, but certainly JavaScript is taking a hit when we change the browser. So if we need to generate a particular thing, we can go for WebAssembly to give a predictable performance or give a uniform experience in all the browsers to our customers. And then we have a second example. This second example is of rotating an image. So now these green, blue, red and yellow, these lines represent different browsers. So the browser names are not given, but these are different browsers. So when we are executing the JavaScript, so JavaScript is again, this browser one is taking low time, and then second browser is taking a relatively high time, and then third browser that is represented in yellow is taking more time, and then the green one is taking much more time. So basically here also the performance is not consistent with JavaScript, but when we are executing the same code written in C, the you will see there is not much difference between the lower and higher one, the second one in second block. So the lower one is taking 344 milliseconds, and then the higher one is taking 433 milliseconds. That means the performance is optimized. The performance is not taking a big hit for a particular browser and a lower hit for a different browser. Similarly, if we talk about assembly script, it is, the performance is again little bit like it's almost consistent, and same is with Rust, the performance is always consistent. But when we talk about JavaScript, the performance is not consistent. So assembly script, so there is a new word, assembly script. So assembly script is basically a TypeScript for web developers. So since web developers are not much familiar with high level languages such as C, C++, because they never felt any sorry, they never felt any requirement to learn these kind of languages, and also these kind of languages are very different when we write a JavaScript code and then when we write a C code. So so this assembly script is a language that combines both two. So writing a assembly script is like nearly close to writing a JavaScript, but certainly it contains few elements from high level languages, like defining the size of a particular integer and then size of different element that we need in the high level languages. Now we will discuss about certain kind of pros of WebAssembly. So WebAssembly is a low level language, which is certainly not written in a particular language. The code can be compiled for C, C++, Rust or assembly script. So you can have a library in C, C++ or either of these language, and you can compile directly to WebAssembly, and then you can execute over the browser. And then we have WebAssembly is a like, since the WebAssembly is a machine code which is like binary, so getting binary code from the server will take less space when we are getting a proper text from the server. So it will also going to take less time to render a particular code when we compare it to the JavaScript. And again, like third point, it is an AOT compiler based language. So the code is pre-compiled, so we are not going to many of the stages that we are necessarily going to through the JavaScript. So it is like a lot more faster. So now WebAssembly use cases. So WebAssembly can be used in games, creating many games, graphic application, image and video manipulation. You can also run your old C, C++ libraries on the web. So you can directly go to web or provide your application as a platform as a service directly by compiling the code without the need of rewriting the code. And then you can eliminate the need of native apps. So if you have a native app, you can directly bring that particular native app to the web. So now we'll go through certain benchmarking. So by going through benchmarking, you will certainly realize that WebAssembly is not faster than JavaScript in many of the cases. So if I'm going through a Fibonacci conversion, so now they have written the same code in JavaScript, and then they have written the same code in WebAssembly. So if I just run the test, so it will show us the result in milliseconds. So now we'll wait for some time to get the results. So now with JavaScript, it is consuming 1059 milliseconds, and with WebAssembly it is taking only 418 milliseconds. So which is like definitely WebAssembly is almost 2 times faster than JavaScript when we are doing a mathematical conversion. So now if I go to video threshold manipulation, so now they have a code that is written in JavaScript to handle a particular video threshold manipulation, and then they have a code which is going to do the same thing with WebAssembly. So now if I run the test, so now certainly there is like JavaScript is taking a time which is certainly a little bit lower than WebAssembly. So WebAssembly is going to take 4.9 something, and JavaScript is doing the same task in 4.0, 4.1, which means JavaScript is like leading and WebAssembly is lagging. So now when we are doing mathematical components, WebAssembly has a higher end, but when we are doing video conversions, JavaScript has a higher end, because JavaScript has certain functionalities like WebGL pre-built that are natively built into their compiler. So similarly, if I just go to a quick sort, So now if I just run a quick sort, so we'll see the results. So now the JavaScript has taken like 787 milliseconds, while WebAssembly has taken 490 milliseconds. So now WebAssembly is twice as much faster as JavaScript. But we have seen like in case of video threshold manipulation, WebAssembly was lagging behind. So it is not certainly the case that WebAssembly will win all the cases. So it is up to us to like identify for which case we need to use the WebAssembly and for which case we need to go with the native JavaScript. So now for setting up the code, so you need to install the MIScriptian SDK to your system. So once the MIScriptian SDK is installed, you need to activate the particular SDK into your system and then export the environment variable. So this is the standard setup. You can find it over Google. So now I'll show you the working of WASM, and then we'll see some code, like how the code is written in C++, and then it is going to be compiled to WebAssembly, and then how it is going to be run in the browser. So we have the, like in the first stage, we can see that we have written the code that is actually in C++, Rust or assembly script, and then we are compiling that particular code to WebAssembly. So once we have the code compiled to WebAssembly, we can import that particular WebAssembly code to our HTML file, and then once the code is executed in our HTML file, we will get all the exported functions from the script, like from the code. So we in C++ code we will be exporting some functions, so we will be getting these exported function under the modules. So now I'll show you some code. So now here I have this file, this function. Basically this function is to calculate some subtraction, basically normal operations. So this function is written in C. You can see that's like it is including stdio.io.h, which is standard function. And then we are getting two input, so one is number 1 and then another is number 2, and then we are getting the third parameters as an operation. So if we are getting 1, we will be performing a sum, and if we are getting 2, we will be performing an subtraction, and then for 3 we will be performing an multiplication. Similarly for 4 we will be performing a division. So we have written the C file, and now in terminal I need to execute the particular command. So this is the command MIScriptian. So we need to this is the shortcut EMCC for MIScriptian compiler. Then we will be giving the particular C++ file location. So this is the calculator.cpp file. So this is the actual calculator.cpp file. So this is the command. So and -o means we are going to get an output as. So calculator.js will be the file that is the bridge file. So basically -o represents the bridge file, and then -m WASM was 1 means we need to generate a WebAssembly file, and then -s exported functions. So these are the functions that our code is actually exported. So if you don't specify the exported function, these functions are not going to be available inside your JavaScript code. So we need to specify the function that we are going to export from the C++ file. So if you see in the C++ file, we have a function as calculate. So that is why we are exporting underscore calculate. So we need to add underscore to all the exported functions. So now we have exported the function. So now what I will do, I will create a basic HTML file. So this is my HTML file. In this HTML file, I will include the intermediate code file. So intermediate code file is our calculator.js, and then calculator.js will in turn load calculator.wasm file, which is the actual machine code file. So this is the actual machine code file. So now so this is calculator.cpp is the original file that we have written, and then we have compiled this calculator.cpp file with MIScriptian compiler, and then it has generated two files. One is the bridge code, that is called calculator.js, and then another one is the actual machine code, that is calculator.wasm. So now we have loaded this calculator.js file in the HTML. So now I am going to open this index.html file and show how it will work. So if I just go this, so now if I just load this, so you will be able to see we have loaded first HTML file, that is like the normal index file, and then we have loaded the calculator.js file, and then we have loaded the calculator.vesa memory file. So this is the actual machine code. Now to execute a particular function, we need to like module and then underscore calculate. So we have access to the function that we have exported through our C++ code. So now if I just write first input, second input, and then I need to write the operation code. So if 2 is the operation code for subtraction, so it will perform a subtraction, so it is like -22. Similarly, if I just pass 3, so this is the code for multiplication, so it will return this. So you can also create a wrapper around this to get like a more logical output. So if I just go this, so since I have created a sum, so I will fix the operation code as 1. So now I have written a function sum. So now if I just write sum 10, 12, 2, so it will perform a summation. So now I have created a wrapper around the function that is exported from the WebAssembly file. So similarly, we can like export as many functions as we want, and then we can handle the calculation directly. So now so certainly WebAssembly is a very good tool when we need performance and we have the libraries that are written in other high level languages, not in C, C++. So we have certain clones with JavaScript. So these are like the one thing is like we cannot directly compile libraries into WebAssembly, and they can be executed in the browser because we need functions that are going to be exported, and then these exported functions are going to be consumed by the web browser. But since all libraries are not going to export functions, we need to write a bridge code which will actually export the functions from the C++ code and then make them available to the JavaScript. So certainly sometimes you cannot compile each and every library you have to C++ to WebAssembly, but yes, if you want to compile, you need to write like 5, 20, 100 lines of bridge code that is going to export the functions of the requirement. And then certainly as we have seen, it fails to beat the native JS performance for many of the operations. So I will give you the link. The link is in the PPT. You can check the performance of WebAssembly versus JS for many other tasks. So certainly for some tasks WebAssembly is leading, for some tasks JavaScript is leading. So it's not like WebAssembly is always leading and then JavaScript is always getting fall behind. And then currently there is no multi-threading support for WebAssembly. That means the application that support multi-threading are not going to perform like at their full extent with WebAssembly, though they can perform single-threaded operations normally. And then currently no garbage collection support is there for WebAssembly. So which means like you need to handle the garbage collection or memory allocation and deallocation stuff yourself. So as we have seen the code, so that's it. So if you have any questions, so you can comment down in the chat. So if anybody has any questions, so you can like write it down in the chat. Yes, so Ronak has a question, can we execute it in Node.js as well? Yes, so Java, this, since this is a standard by the W3C consortium itself, so we can execute this code in from the JavaScript, from Node.js as well. So WebAssembly also has support from older languages, older Windows like Windows 93, Windows 98. So they also have like compiler built in for that, and we can also run these Windows 98 in the browser itself. So Dhruv has asked like what about image manipulation. So I'll give you an example about image manipulation. So if I go to Squash app, so this is the app. So I'm just going to the app, and now I'm going to the code. This is an like open source code that is available on GitHub. If I go to Codex, so now since this code is executing on the browser, but they are actually using the libraries that are written in C. So if I go to WebP, and then if I go to encoder, so now they have the encoder written in C++, WebP enc cpp. So they are actually using the encoder that are written for C. This encoder is actually written from C, but they have compiled the encoder to WebAssembly. So if I just go back a little bit, so now you will see they have this bridge file webp-enc.js, and then they have the assembly code of this CPP file. So now they are using this WebAssembly file to actually do the webp transformations in the browser itself using the native C++ library that is actually written for CPP. So similarly, they have many other codecs like OxyPNG. So this codec is like also written for a different language, I think Ruby, and then they are compiling this Ruby code to a WebAssembly code and then executing the code. So like all the our languages are going to be used. So Dhananjay is asking, won't GC make it cumbersome to use? So basically, like it is up to the developer, like how they are handling the actual task. Like you can run the code. You can run the code like on the actual machine itself, or you can run the code into the browser itself. So running the code in the browser gives us lot more portability. We can run it on any machine, but when we are using GC, we need to compile that particular GC on a particular machine before running it. So it will make a little bit cumbersome, but at the end product, when we talk about the end product, so it is giving us a lot more portability or lot more extensibility to the users, so they can like run it anywhere they want. So Dhruv is asking about performance of JS versus WASM. So I have already like discussed a few things, like we have discussed why the performance is more predictable with WebAssembly, which is not predictable with JavaScript. And then we have also taken example of rotating an image. Also we have a link which will show us like performance of WebAssembly. So when we are running a mathematical operation, certainly WebAssembly is leading, so it has performance boost of actually up to 2 times. For image manipulation, also like so they have this video. If they have an example, okay, so they have an image grayscale. So now they are handling an image manipulation using both libraries. So JavaScript is doing 1.9 milliseconds, but WebAssembly is taking 4.7 milliseconds, which means JavaScript script is performing much better. But it is not always the case, because JavaScript has their Canvas API, which is actually designed for image manipulation, and C++ they have their own libraries that are written for image manipulation. But the like trade-off is the libraries or the Canvas API that is written for JS is designed for giving the performance in mind. It will not like it will compromise with the quality of output. So the quality of output that you are going to get with WebAssembly is much more higher than the quality of output you are getting with JavaScript. But certainly, since JavaScript library like Canvas are designed with performance in mind, the performance you are getting with JavaScript is much more better than the performance you are going to get with WebAssembly. So you need to like identify which is your priority. You want to give performance to your users, or you want to give the best quality to your users. So if anyone has any other questions, you can ask. So since we don't have any questions, so we will be wrapping up